DePaul Center is a safe haven.
If we can give people hope, if we can give people that, then that opens a whole door of opportunity for people to say, maybe I can make it.
DePaul Center is kind of like a rippling effect. You know, we need models. The DePaul Center is building models.
I think a key message about the DePaul Center is just that it works. The DePaul Center is supportive housing for single men. Length of time is flexible enough that men can stay there as long as they need to get what they need to be able to have stable housing, the supports that they need, whether they've had mental health or substance abuse issues, the time to work on those and to stay clean.
We're not just a housing program, we're an education program. We're a program that builds people up so that they can become effective, good citizens, so they can get back together with their families, so they can put together some of their lives that have been ruined by and devastated by some of their bad choices that they made throughout their life.
At the DePaul Center is a safe haven, and it's a place that you can come to and get involved with the residents and the staff here, and it's a place of help. It's a place that is necessary, especially in the times that we're living in.
They could be anybody. They're people who have had a hard time with life, who've struggled with, found themselves on the street. The people come from well-to-do families, they come from low-income families, they come from broken families, they come from whole families. There is no one definition of who these people are and who the men are.
We have downsizing. We have people losing their job for various reasons, divorces, and you get more bills than you had with two incomes. You get one income, and things trip you up.
I look at some of the people that we have here, and I don't know how I'd have survived if I had to go through that, if that was my family structure, if those were the constraints, the difficulties, the problems that I had, the abuse that happens sometimes to people. We have a lot of vets. The struggles that veterans go through, defending our country, and the problems that they have, you're 4 times more likely to be homeless if you're a veteran.
I was homeless at one point. I was destitute. I was living a life of zombieism. I was totally confused, totally just hurt, full of pain. But through DePaul Center, God, my own determination to become a better person, I have become a successful person of society.
The biggest thing I think that's been robbed of people who are homeless is hope. They don't see the hope. They don't see any possibilities in themselves. And a lot of times, they'll turn against themselves in that. They'll go to using drugs because there is no hope. They'll go to being on the street. And if we can give people hope, if we can give people that, then that opens a whole door of opportunity for people to say, maybe I can make it.
The goals are to increase their skills so that whether it's education or other job training, so that when they leave they are further along than where they were when they came in, that they are better able to support themselves, that they're able to get a job that's going to pay enough to be able to afford to live in our community and afford, if they have any dependent children, to be able to take care of those children and to be at a better place than they were when they started.
There's not a whole lot of help out there for single men. And as soon as a single man starts to get legitimate, child support comes after him, and the bills start coming in, there's fines, and all this stuff starts coming. And he needs to be able to have some secure ground in order to address those issues. And that's what we do immediately when people come in. We want them to address their finances. Are they paying child support? Have they paid their taxes? What are the things that are out there that are going to be the snags that are going to become overwhelming again unless they begin systematically beginning to approach them and deal with them? And they got to do that all the time that they're working on an education to try to get the skills that are going to give them the job that's going to allow them to pay for all those things.
What makes the difference oftentimes is that individual connection. It's having a case manager, having an individual who understands, who cares, who is making those connections in the community, making sure that if someone needs mental health services, they have a connection to a mental health one of our community mental health agencies. If there are healthcare needs, that they're connected to the Samaritan Healthcare Clinic or another resource, that they're getting connected to the educational opportunities that they need.
When I got out of service back in 1970, I was accepted at Central State in that summer, but the world seemed so vast. There wasn't no support system there for me. So it led me up some other roads. I went some other roads, in my life. And when I come down to DePaul Center, it's like those support system was right in place, I didn't know anything about financial aid and all that stuff. I'm thinking about school. You got to be a millionaire to go to school. It's not the case. I guess you need to know the right people, network, ask questions, be humble.
Sid, who came in last week, and I was asking him to take a look, ask him why he'd come. He says, when I first came here, I was really just thought it would be a place where I could stay and sleep. He says, then I started realizing after I was here at DePaul Center that maybe I can really do something with my life. And he started going to school. He started taking care of his child support, getting his back child support up. He started got his taxes online. He started working on a lot of his bills. And this is 2 years now after he's been out of DePaul Center. But he came in to share that he bought a house, and he was so excited that he bought a house. And he was telling me he's going back to church, and his life is back together again because he saw he could go somewhere.
I have goals. I have ambitions. I have successfully put my life back together. I have a wife. I have a new daughter. I have a life. I have a life that I never had before. I didn't even think I would ever have.
I think having an active, thriving DePaul Center is critical for the community. We look at what we call a continuum of care. What are the housing and services that we have available for homeless people in our community, from outreach to folks who are still living on the street through permanent housing. And all those components are important to have. And DePaul Center is really our largest and almost our only provider of temporary supportive housing for single men.
I got 4 children. 3 daughters and a son. He's the youngest. At the time, I was thinking about getting him and just go and get a job and take care of him. And I talked to one of the professors down at St. Clair. He said, man, what you're doing now you could be doing anything more for your kids than what you're doing right now. And in a short 2 weeks' time, I was talking to my son on the phone. He said, Dad, and he initiated this. He said, Dad, if I don't play sports, I'm still going to college. So it kind of set the tone, the reality confirmation, if you will, of what you're doing is impacting other lives.
None of us are completely disconnected, and even though people who may become homeless may have burned bridges and may be estranged or disconnected from people in their family, a place like DePaul Center gives them an opportunity to make those connections back again and to strengthen them. And by helping this one individual and get to a place, if they did have dependent children, they're now in a better position to be able to pay child support and to be able to take care of them.
It's kind of like a rippling effect. We need models. The Paul Center is building models. And it goes more than just a few people. I was touched by someone that came through the DePaul Center, and here I am.
I am thrilled about what goes on here. I just see so many good things happening. And I feel that when you see adult men who have been to the bottom and are now climbing and putting all they can into it, and how they support one another.
It's very important that we all reach out to each other and donate what we can or do what we can where we can. Without it, we're lost.
Living in a suburb, I didn't realize just how bad it could be. People that I talk to, and it's if I talk to a person about what goes on in the city of Dayton or what happens at a DePaul Center, they just can't believe it. We're 15 miles away. And the reason that we didn't know what was going on is because we never took the time to get involved.
there is a cost to doing nothing in our community, and the cost of doing something is less and has a much more positive impact on all of this. It is wrong to have people living on the street in our community, and an organization like DePaul Center does something about it and makes a difference in people's lives. The men who come and stay, and the percentage of men who leave from DePaul Center and become contributing members of society and are living independently and do not return to homelessness is the overwhelming majority of the men who stay here. It's been very successful.
They come back. That's the greatest joy, is to see some of these men come back regularly. And so the process is to give them all a big hug and take them around and let everybody know that, we're proud of them. And they don't even have to say how they're doing. We can tell.
We have no idea what love truly is. Not until you're down there in the dirt and you're on your last leg and you're raising your hands to the heavens, asking for help. Then you'll find out what love truly is, because once you get back up on your feet and once you start being dignified and respected and so forth, you can appreciate what love is. It's just help, it's love, it's all the same.
Imagine for a short 5 years ago, here I am today. Not just with a bachelor's degree, I passed the LSW, the licensure test, and I don't think it's been impossible without the DePaul Center. So give. The DePaul Center makes a difference. It has made a difference.